In this interpretive and dramatized storytelling lens, the idea of tragedy in relation to Sara Gilbert is not grounded in any verified personal hardship or hidden revelation, but instead functions as a reflective way to explore the emotional complexity of growing up, working, and evolving in the public eye, where a person's life is often remembered in fragments rather than as a continuous human experience, and where early visibility in entertainment can shape how every later chapter is perceived, regardless of how much a person changes over time. In this fictionalized framing, her journey becomes a broader meditation on the experience of being known from a young age in a long-running television landscape, where early roles can become cultural reference points that follow an actor throughout their career, creating a layered identity that the public revisits repeatedly, often without fully registering the distance between past and present selves. The sadness in this narrative tone is not tied to any specific event but to the imagined emotional weight of continuity under observation, where personal growth does not happen in private isolation but alongside a persistent public memory that continually replays earlier versions of the same person, sometimes making reinvention feel less like a fresh beginning and more like a comparison to what came before, over time. This storytelling approach emphasizes the psychological texture of long-term visibility, where an actor's professional life is shaped not only by new roles and opportunities but also by the endurance of earlier performances that remain accessible and culturally embedded, creating a dual experience in which present identity coexists with archived identity, and both influence how audiences interpret new work. Within this narrative frame, the emotional tragedy is reframed as the challenge of maintaining a coherent sense of self while being continually interpreted through external narratives that may prioritize nostalgia, familiarity, or typecasting over individual evolution, and this can create a subtle tension between personal growth and public expectation, especially in industries where recognition is closely tied to specific eras or characters. The story also explores how long careers in entertainment involve constant adaptation, not only to new creative environments but also to shifting cultural attitudes, production styles, and audience expectations, meaning that identity is not static but continuously reshaped through experience, even when public perception tends to simplify it into a fixed image. In this interpretive lens, personal life functions as a stabilizing counterbalance to professional visibility, offering continuity that is not mediated through performance or audience interpretation. Yet even these private dimensions are indirectly influenced by public recognition, which can subtly shape opportunities, interactions, and expectations in ways that remain largely unseen. As the years accumulate, the narrative shifts from individual career milestones to the broader experience of time itself, where early success, mid-career transitions, and later reinventions form a continuous arc that is often flattened in public storytelling, even though the lived reality is far more nuanced and internally consistent than external summaries suggest. Ultimately, this dramatized perspective does not imply any literal tragedy or hidden sorrow, but instead uses the language of emotion as a way to reflect on the universal experience of being seen across time, suggesting that what may appear as sadness from the outside is often just the natural complexity of a life that has unfolded in public view for decades, where identity is both preserved and transformed simultaneously, and where the most meaningful changes are often gradual, internal, and not easily captured by the simplified narratives that circulate around well-known figures.